I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk to folks from the VTuber community about their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We are joined by Punny Pandora. Hi.
Hi,
Introduce
how
yourself
are
to
you?
everybody, please.
Hi, I'm Punny Pandora. I am the Jackalope VTuber and goddess of sleep and dreams because I do love to sleep and dream.
Me too. Can I have some more, please? I
Right?
got.
Always begging.
I'd like to have a little bit more than my normal share. Um, how long have you been streaming?
Around 3 years, but it isn't consistent. It's been consistent for a year and two, and then, after COVID and everything, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of just, I only stream like once a week now,
Yeah.
once or twice.
Well, you do both some games, but art as well.
Correct. Mostly art though.
Yeah. Have you always been
Mm.
an artist?
Um, I would say so, yes. Like close when I was in high school, I did a lot of art in during my free time and sometimes during classes, even though you shouldn't supposed to, but like, you know,
What else are you
who
gonna do?
doesn't at this point?
What else are you gonna do during U.S. history that you're never gonna use in real life? You're gonna do some artwork. Um, the what type of art do you usually like to draw?
Um, I usually try to make my own characters and stuff. I'm always like brainstorming new characters and what I should do differently. Not really many fan arts as a lot of people do, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Not
but a
not
lot of like looking researching like animals, trying to convert them into like humans, you know.
yeah. They call it anthropo something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm not good at big words,
Yeah,
so
it's anthropo something. It's well, that's the official name for it now. But it's so you're not someone who takes like a character from a anime and then draws that 150 times.
No, no. I use like anime to like try to figure out my style or try to figure out what to do, like put a new fan OC in that universe. It all depends, you know.
So are you
Like my
self-taught?
hero.
Yeah, are you self-taught?
Um, yes, I want to say because there's not really classes that I took, so I mean everything's on the internet.
Yeah, but you learned from the internet, but you had to do it yourself.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so it was just kind of trial and error and keep trying, or was it something that you were able to pick up very quickly?
Trial and error. It still is today.
Eh, and for me, it's just error. Just keep making mistakes, and sooner or later you'll stop.
At least to me, whenever I draw, it's always like an error, but that's in my part.
Well,
Like, there hasn't been that many pieces this year, so
are you a perfectionist?
no. Well, perfectionist. Oh, I heard professionalist, so I was
No,
like,
no,
no, I'm not professional.
I'm perfectionist. That's it.
Perfectionist, yes.
Yeah, it's close to the same thing. I mean, it depends. But I did see that you have commissions open. Is that true?
Yes, I try to do it like on my anytime I have any free time, but so far nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm not complaining in all honesty.
What type of commissions would you take? Is it someone where you do a portrait of somebody, or is it something where you would come up with your own type of thing for someone?
Um, I like to have whenever people commission me, I would like to have as much information of what they would like. If they give me free reign, I'm like, oh, I don't know, here
Yeah.
something that I think it would look cool. But I would prefer like if they give me a lot of information of what they would like.
So if I were to give you two or three bits of information about somebody, uh, a a man uh, who is a carpenter who has abnormally large hands, something like I don't know what it is, and give you like three or four things you would draw from that.
No, I would ask you like, hey, what kind of pose do you want? Do you want a special like color palette? Do you want like a background? Do you
Mm-hmm.
like what kind of background are we talking about?
Yeah.
All specific has to be
Yeah, so you want to know as much as possible about who you're, right?
exactly,
And
exactly. And then I would just give them like how do I say like PowerPoint kind of thing,
mm,
like where you they just have like a bunch of stuff in there and just slap it on, and be like, "Hey, here's this for now," and then I'll actually draw it or something.
so you've got a business model.
Mm, but I haven't used it.
Well, folks, here's your chance to get in on the ground floor. They've Punny Pandora's got a business model ready to go for you. Di- Now, you say that anime is something that you've kind of leaned on a little bit in learning. Would you say your style is anime style?
Um, it not wholly, like I want to say it's partially in there, but I also want to do kind of realism
Mm,
at the same time, so I kind of want to mash them together.
mm. Make Create your
Mm.
own hybrid.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Has it been easy for you to transition into digital work, or did you start off with digital work?
I actually started traditional, so pen and paper,
Hmm.
pencil and paper.
Yeah. So
Uh,
what's the difference for you?
uh, let's say that when you do pen and paper, it you can I can kind of see visually what it's supposed to be. Um, while when you have the digital part, you can only see like the final piece kind of thing, and you can see all these flaws.
Mm,
But I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But
yeah.
basically, it's harder to erase in traditional than to it is uh in digital.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Let me take a guess here at it. Once you put it down on pen and paper, pencil and paper, you've kind of committed to it more than you would on a digital situation.
Yep, yep. And especially like when it comes to colors, like I have so many notebooks that I have the sketches for, but I never put a pen to do the line art and everything
Hmm.
or the color for it. I never colored any of my sketches for that.
Yeah. Well, on digital, I imagine it's a little easier to fix that, and you can come in with a little more of a let's say adaptable situation, but you kind of have to make the most of what you've already got on the paper with a physical copy.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um, I would say like I use Clip Studio Paint, so there's a lot of art brushes that I can use like tons of them, and as well as other materials. So I'm always using just pen materials. I'm using like watercolor, all that.
yeah,
Color is still weird though.
yeah, and this is all above my head, so I'm asking you questions that I have absolutely no idea what the answer for. So bear with me a little bit. The shading, as far as digital art is concerned, as opposed to physical, is it easier in digital art to use the correct shading or harder?
Hmm. Um, I think it depends. It depends on the thing for me, because for me, when you do it in traditional, it seems easier because you can erase it very easily and just redo it. While in digital, it's easier to do the shading, but at the same time, you have to figure out like the colors, of what colors of shade that you have to do, as well as like what kind of shading. So like hatch lines and all that,
Hmm.
or just plain black for a shade.
Yeah, I would imagine. My guess is it's the what you have to do to create the shading is so different that
Mm.
it's almost two different animals.
Yeah, yeah. You have to tame both animals, and it's not that easy. They don't like each other. I mean,
No,
sometimes they do.
yeah. Well, it depends again, I guess, what you're particularly doing and what you're trying to go for. Would you say you have the same type of style on your digital art that you do in your physical art?
No, 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 that's indefinite. No, I
Mm.
have a different, completely different one. Because at least in traditional, it in my point of view, it seems more fuller. Like if I draw a face, then it's much chubbier in the cheeks, which I like. While in the digital, it's more stiff, and it might be my settings, but I mean that's my interpretation, at least in my eyes.
Well, I can see that because it's a little more human.
Mm.
I mean, it's great that I like digital art. I like what that people are able to do with it, but you just still don't quite have the pen to paper touch that a physical piece of art does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and
I want to say like I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I just want to say like it's kind of like it's like getting a piece of like museum art with the statue. Like you can see they're good. It's just depending on like, you know, what's your preference, I guess, or like
Yeah, yeah, and I'm going to bring up the bad word, bad two letters AI,
yeah.
but we're still right now able to tell for the most part the difference online between an AI and a human working on something. At least you artists can. uh,
Yeah, yeah.
some of
I
us,
mean, I at least in my eyes, I can't really tell it until somebody points it out. I was like, oh, that makes more sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
those of us with eyes that barely work to start with wouldn't be able to tell a lot of the difference. But that human touch does make a difference because you just add that extra nuance to it.
Mm, I agree.
Yeah. Now, as far as games that you do, and you do games on occasion, what type of games do you stream?
I try to find anything that's more of a chill vibe. So Power Wash is something I do very often. Um, no, I don't really do Overwatch though. I try to get into it, and I do love the characters that I see. It's just too much toxicity from my eyes, so I just go back to my little Minecraft if I can play it again.
I saw Stardew Valley on there.
I did play Stardew Valley, but that was last year when I played it with a friend.
Yeah,
So I think it's much like funner to I don't think that's a word.
yeah,
Um, to play it with a friend compared to playing it alone.
yeah. I know they just updated it again with a huge update, and I'm trying very hard to not dive directly into it again. I've
I
already,
think the mines is really fun though.
yeah, I've got like 30 save files.
Oh God,
Yeah,
I think I only have like six.
yeah. Well, I for a while there, I was just at it constantly, and I do like irritating the wife every once in a while, but I don't need that much right now.
I didn't even get to like marriage part. I just kind of farmed and then that was it. I kind of dropped it.
I'm talking
At
about
least in
yeah, I'm talking about the real life wife.
oh dear. Well, that's out of my jurisdiction.
So what are you there again? Yes. And this wife helps me out. No, I wouldn't dare say that. um, but these types of games, when you as an artist go and look at these games, I know you enjoy the models that Overwatch do. Is that something you actually look at when you look at a game? Is how the art is put together?
Um, yes and no. It's not like the first thing that I'm like, ooh, I want to play that because of like the design. But it's also like how the game is played, how what makes it different from other games, you know?
Hmm. No, yeah, see, the Overwatch style caught your eye, but the toxicity and the play around it, not so much.
No, no, no. I was like, well, it's like at least in my eyes, it's like Fortnite, and then you got Valorant and the behind.
Hmm. Yeah, and then
Mm.
and it just it you kind of look at some of these with an artist's eye before a gamer eye.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I in all three games, in all honesty, I do like the visual of it. It's just community. I don't think it's there. I distance myself from the community in general.
Yeah, I can't blame you there for especially a lot of the toxicity that goes on there. As far
Yeah.
the art streams that you do, how do those work? I mean, do you take requests from people who are watching, or do you have ideas when you go in?
I usually have ideas of what I wanted to draw. So, I usually have a piece that I'm working on, or I'm like, oh, I'm gonna draw this today. Maybe I should do it on stream instead of just looking at a blank canvas for a good 3 hours and calling it a stream.
Taking a little nap and saying that I'm trying to visualize something.
Yeah, I mean that's what I occasionally do, just stare at it. I mean, most of my streams, either I'm working on it or I'm just staring at the piece that I have in front of me. I'm like, why doesn't it look good? What's wrong with it? Do I have to change the color again? Because color is not my forte.
Well, do you when you've got somebody in watching you on these streams, do you get backseated?
Um, not really. It just recently starting to pick up on that,
Mm,
which I will take the feedback and I'll just reflect on it after stream so I can like understand what they, because like sometimes words don't form in my head when I'm on stream. I'm like, what? I can't, what?
yeah,
So I had to like look back on it. I'm like, oh, that's what they mean. I should do that. And so I have to usually do that.
yeah. Well, it's again, it's always in the eye of the beholder, and
Mm.
they might see something from a different angle that you're seeing it, and sometimes art just does not translate into English words very well.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. And in all honesty, English isn't really my strong suit. Like in, we're just speaking in general. It's not my strong suit. I'm more of like nodding, yesing,
That doesn't help
trying
on
to sh
stream.
No, it doesn't. But like just as in dreams, like if you have symbolism in there, then somebody will understand it at one point.
Now, I wish somebody would understand some of mine because
Oh,
I keep getting lost in the mall and I can't find my car.
oh, maybe I don't know.
Can,
That's something else.
can you do something about that, dream lady? You're the one that's supposed to be handling all those dreams now. You,
Well, let's say like I have my little minions here. They're supposed to take care of it. I'm just supposed to ch check in to see if there's any problems, you know?
yeah, I can't find my car. the the streams themselves, once you get going, and you able to interact with your community as you're drawing and working on your art?
But not really in all honesty. I'm just usually more focused on my art. And then like 20 minutes later was somebody will pass by and be like, "Hey, Pandora." I'm like, oh shoot, it's been 20 minutes. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Hi."
Well, I
So
mean,
I feel bad.
no, but people are there to watch and see what you're doing with it. Do you, when you got the folks going, do you have people asking how you're doing these things or what type of equipment you're using?
Not really much of the equipment, but I do get asked like how I'm doing certain things or how I'm understanding it. Sometimes like if I'm studying a language, I'll be like, "Oh, uh there's a way to understand it." Like I think a couple streams ago I was explaining how to understand the what's it called? The hiragana. I was trying to learn Japanese at the time
Oh,
and I yeah,
yeah,
it was kind of difficult to explain like how I understood which word is with which character.
yeah. Well, I think that Japanese is actually picking up these days as
Yeah.
far as the language people want to learn. While it's no, learning a language is never easy, uh, but a lot of those words now, I think a lot in because of the online community have started to get picked up by modern mainstream society.
Yeah, and luckily as well as the internet, it's just we are having more resources to understanding and more apps that will actually help us learn uh, how to speak Japanese, you know.
I wish I would have gotten another language when I was a kid because I've just got kind of English and Sesame Street Spanish. I can count to almost 20 and I can show you where the door is. That's about it. Uh,
It's never too late.
yeah. So what languages are you learning or have you learned?
Well, I besides English, of course, like I've already learned it. Besides the bigger words, that's something else.
Mm,
I speak Spanish as well, but not fluently,
mm-hmm,
but I used to have it and then it's gone.
mm.
Um, but Japanese, and then I think when I was a teenager, I was trying to learn like every single language,
Oh.
and that was embarrassing because I was trying to show off at that point. But that's teenagers for you.
Yeah, that's true. And you get your German mixed up with your French, and then you start a war, and then it's not good. It,
Yeah, no, no,
yeah,
it really isn't.
yeah. But at least you tried, which is
Yeah.
better than I did. That's for sure. The
Mm.
but nowadays that kind of that kind of reflects someone's creativity, I think, in that they want to find better ways to describe these things. And sometimes you can't just use it with English. It's better described in a different language.
Yeah, yeah. It seems.
Well, I think
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. Now, what are your plans for this year? Have you got any big plans, artistically wise or otherwise, for your channel?
Well, I was right now I'm trying to re-rig my model because I did rig my model 2 years ago, but now I have to relearn Live 2D again and try to re-rig it. So I hopefully wanting to get a newer model of Pandora, but I also have a 2.0 Pandora coming out,
Mm.
and um uh do I have anything? No, not really. Other than that,
Well,
those are the two things. I'm just rigging a lot of models of for myself.
yeah. Would you do that for somebody else?
I do it for a couple people. I did for other people. Some of them were chibi, and I think one of them was another VTuber, but I haven't been in contact with them. So
Mm.
wherever they are, I hope they're doing their best in their lives.
Would that be something that you would take on a commission, drawing a model for someone?
Drawing it, not really, because I'm still not confident in my art style. I'm still trying to get that art style in place.
Mm.
But like rigging, that's something else. I'll take a couple.
Well, for folks who want to find out what Punny Pandora is all about, we're going to have the links coming up on the description for this video. And I suggest you tune in and find out what Punny Pandora's got going. And not just as an artist, but all the way around. Sounds like you got a pretty good mindset heading into this, and you know pretty much what you want to do with your art.
I hope so, because like when I talk about it, it seems like a jumble, but in my head, it's like like the Amazon forest. It's just a jumble.
You communicate with your art,
Yeah.
and that sometimes says more than any old guy with a microphone can blather for a period of time. They say pictures worth a lot more than 1,000 words in many
Um,
instances. And we wish you the best. I thank you for coming out, and
Thank you.
we'll get you on again once you get maybe that 2.0 started. How about that?
Oh God. I, I don't mind.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.